This is Michael Jordan. He's on the perimeter with the ball, and there's 9 seconds left on the game clock in a tied game. He goes baseline, does a fadeaway, and brings the crowd to their feet. With 4.8 seconds left, you might think this is the end of the game, but the game wasn't over yet. This is actually the final score, 155 to 144, double OT. Believe it or not, this was actually an all-star game, and it was the best pickup game I've ever seen in my life. Fast forward 2 decades and, look at this play. This is essentially a 3-on-5 fast break, if there was ever such a thing. The only defense I see on this play is Lauri Markkanen sticking out his hands, but, as we can see, that's not really defense. The play ends up in a reverse dunk, but sheesh, guys, that was forgettable. In fact, within 24 to 48 hours, I'll never remember that dunk ever again in my life because the NBA All-Star Weekend is broken. Just before we start this video, I just wanted to let you all know that we listened to your advice and got some sheesh t-shirts. If you want to check them out and support the channel, the link's down below. And without further ado, let's do this. I have proof that something is wrong with the NBA All-Star Game, and here it is. Take a look at this. This is the PER stat. It's one of the most talked about advanced NBA metrics out there that calculates how good an NBA player is overall. LeBron, arguably the second best of all time, is only number 8 on this list. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, is 7th on this list. Giannis is 3rd, Wilt Chamberlain is 2nd, and at number 1 is none other than Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Ladies and gentlemen, Jokic has the best PER stat in NBA history. In NBA history. And yet, what happened during the 2023 All-Star Draft?
With my 3rd pick, I'm going with Mr. 71, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, you saw it. There were 3 choices left here, and the 2-time reigning MVP, who's about to get his 3rd consecutive most valuable trophy, didn't get picked. How crazy is that? I don't know what's actually worse, being a 2-time MVP and getting picked second to last, or James Harden being snubbed off from this year's All-Star. Anyway, that's how you know that any definition of competition was just thrown out the window. I mean, in what universe is the best player picked second to last? That just doesn't make any sense. I mean, imagine Victor Wembanyama getting picked in the 2nd round. That's just basketball blasphemy at its highest. Anyway, and then when the game started, I was hoping for it at least to resemble a game, to resemble something like that 2003 All-Star game that had fans on the edge of their seat, but there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. No defense, no competitive spirit, no nothing. In fact, I don't think I saw a player even sprint once. Heck, if someone bet me $1,000 that no players even broke a sweat, I wouldn't take that bet because I might lose. Still though, as I watched arguably the most boring basketball of my life, I still clung on to hope that perhaps, that just maybe, in the 4th quarter, things would become competitive, but
James has to score 41 and give us the winner here in this 75-0 in this format. Mitchell and Tatum with big.
Yeah. Aside from like 3 or 4 possessions of Tatum and Brown going back and forth, there was literally nothing to watch, and I was actually wondering how many others felt this way, so I went online, and these are the general sentiments that I see. The All-Star Game is a bad product, the viewers don't want to watch it, and players clearly have no interest in playing it. I'd be more interested in watching the Spurs doing practice drills than this shit. I lasted 15 minutes, went and made coffee, and didn't bother going back. Rest in peace, Mamba mentality. This game was garbage. Sheesh, guys. There's a lot more comments, but I don't think the rest of them are appropriate for YouTube. Anyway, it wasn't even just the fans who felt this way. Jaylen Brown said afterwards that the game was not basketball and that it's more of a glorified layup line. Then Nuggets coach Michael Malone said, "It's an honor to be here, but that is the worst basketball game ever played." Anyway, that's enough for the All-Star Game itself. I want to move on to the other part that's broken, and that's the dunk contest. Honestly, the NBA got really lucky this year that a 24-year-old G League player decided to suit up for this event because he saved it. He actually deserves a full-on NBA contract because the truth is, he didn't just save the dunk contest, he actually saved the entire All-Star weekend because his performance was the only thing that got fans on their feet. I mean, the three-point competition was dull, the All-Star game was even duller, and it might just be me, but funny enough, even after watching the NBA closely for about 2 decades, I've actually never tuned into the skills challenge or the celebrity game. Anyway, back to the dunk contest. Again, hats off to Mac McClung because if it wasn't for his epic performance, we'd be seeing things like this again.
Is he going back? Oh, he turned. Oh, man, apologies. This year. Oh, what was that?
Uneventful and more just a highlight reel of Shaqtin' a Fool than a quote-unquote dunk contest. You know, most people are blaming this on Adam Silver and saying he needs to change some formats or something to make it more exciting, but honestly, in addition to him, it's on the players too. I mean, as for the dunk contest, is the NBA really going to rely on G League players to save them every year? How bad is that going to look? So I was thinking one thing that the NBA can do to make the dunk contest a bit more exciting is to make it mandatory or something. I mean, I think one of the silliest things I've ever heard recently was from Ja Morant. This dude is a 6'3" athletic guard, he's one of the most electrifying players currently in the league and is capable of some insane dunks, but yet, he said for all intents and purposes that he'll never enter the contest. This dude is currently getting paid about $10 million a year and is on track to earning a 9-figure contract once his current contract expires. I know he plays hard during the regular season, but come on, man. For hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm sure he can watch a few YouTube videos and learn a few new dunks and put on a show once a year for the fans. For the new collective bargaining agreements that's coming up soon, I hope there's a clause in there that says, if you want to be eligible for a Supermax contract, then you gotta opt into at least one of the All-Star events if your name is called upon. Because it's not a secret that the NBA is driven by stars, and if no stars participate, then that's a letdown for the fans. Anyway, then as for the All-Star game, I don't know what it'll take for players to play basketball. You know, the sport they get paid millions of dollars to play. It's times like this that really puts Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant on GOAT Mountain. I mean, these two players never let fans down, they always competed, and they always put on a show. It's actually sad that the All-Star trophy is named after Kobe Bryant because that spirit isn't what he represented. I mean, players use the excuse of injury to avoid playing hard at All-Star Weekend, but do y'all remember that one time that Dwayne Wade broke Kobe's nose, and when Wade apologized to him, Kobe said, "Don't apologize, I love it." And if players want to say that the NBA is different now, that it's more demanding and easier to get injured, then yeah, they may have a point, but the truth is, you don't have to go at 100%. Just give the fans 80% or something. Even that'll get them on their feet. I mean, until it gets competitive, I'm sure most of us would rather just see the San Antonio Spurs in their practice facility just going about their training. Like this video, for example. It's from a few years ago, but I'd rather watch this scrimmage than the All-Star game. Heck, even though Cade Cunningham is out for the rest of the season due to injury, I'd rather watch the bottom 2 teams of each conference go at it. Something has to be done about NBA All-Star Weekend. The current most popular idea is to introduce a one-on-one tournament, but besides that, Adam Silver definitely needs to sit down with his committee because, like I said, besides Mac McClung's dunks, this All-Star Weekend was more or less broken.